Hello and welcome to this tutorial on Moszkowski Calme du soir. It's taken from ABRSM Grade 7 2023-2024. This has just been released. There is a performance of me playing it up on YouTube. I will link to it below and above. Really tricky choice this for Grade 7. Very, very tricky for Grade 7. In many ways, I think it's actually harder than some of the Grade 8 pieces. The notes aren't too bad, but the thing that makes this difficult is that there's really a lot of counterpoint in it. So what I recommend that people do, and again, well, I'm basically going to be repeating so much of what I literally, like just a few moments ago, recorded a tutorial for one of the Grade 8 pieces. Oh my God, which one? Oh, the Farranc, Louise Farranc. And I'm basically going to repeat almost everything that I said in that one because it's such a similar piece. In some ways, this is harder. But I recommend that anybody learning this piece sort of learns the skeleton of it. And so the skeleton, it's like all the various tunes without all the filler. So from the beginning, it's like, and then, so, now I think that the melody there goes to the D. So from the end of bar 2, I'm going to go from the beginning of bar 2. F sharp, E, D. Now I'm playing F sharp, I'm playing the F sharp at the bottom, the D in the middle, the F sharp at the top. But to me the melody clearly goes dum dum dum. And not that. I've heard, I think on the official ABRSM recording he does this. But I don't think it does that, I think it does this. Which is different. I am still playing the top note, it's very, very quiet. So it's tricky because you don't want to just play this. It's got to be very, very balanced. So all the stuff with your right hand thumb at the beginning, very, very quiet, not this. Which I would imagine some people will do, especially at Grade 7 level. We lean into the upper note. Now, again, I'm repeating all the same stuff as the video I just did. I will be releasing a video within, hopefully, the next week. I'm not sure exactly, though, on how you make one line louder than all the other lines when you're playing the piano. It's been something that's been requested a few times, I think. So we want to bring this line out over all the other stuff. And one way we do this is by really, really listening to it. And another way we can do it, a lot of you are not going to do this, but you should, you really should, especially if you're just in the privacy of your own home. And I was just singing really badly in the last video that I recorded. And you want to be able to go, da, 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 da. Even if it's bad singing, the important thing is that you are hearing the line in your mind, even if it's not quite coming out of your mouth, you know. Da, 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 dum, da, 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 dum, da, 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 dun, dum, da, 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 da. It's so important that you are able to do that, because that is a sign that you're listening to the right thing. Because the way that most people, I think, are going to play this is just like, am I playing all the correct notes? Am I playing all the correct notes? And it becomes like, well, I joke with some of my students. There's a psychologist from decades ago called Skinner, and the type of psychology that he kind of invented or perfected is behavioralism. It's like conditioning. I'm not going to go too much into it, but he made most of his discoveries by having rats in cages, and he made the rats press levers for rewards or to avoid punishments. And I joke with my students that a lot of the time the way that they're playing is like they're rats pressing the correct levers to get the reward, which is a pat on the head. It's like, oh, well done. It's like, am I pressing the correct levers? Yes, I've pressed all the correct levers. I'm good. That's not what being a musician is about. It's not about being a rat pressing the levers. Whereas, and when we sing it, it's one way to get us out of that state of mind, because when that state of mind takes us over, that we're pressing the levers, it's kind of addictive. And this is, in the same way that rats could just press a lever over and over and over and over again for particular kinds of rewards, some pianists just get obsessed with playing all the correct notes and pressing the correct levers because it's kind of addictive. We don't want that. So something else that we can do as well is we can notice where the counter melodies are. So there's no counter melody at the beginning. Maybe here, maybe the B. And we want to be able to sometimes sing the counter melodies. Let me play further and see where there's a more interesting one. I'm going from bar 3. So this is like a hidden counter melody in bar 4. If I play just the left hand from bar 4, and I'm bringing out the top, which is an A sharp, B, and then the right hand takes over, and it goes to the C sharp, and then to the D sharp. So the melody from bar 4 is then to the right hand. And there are so many of these like hidden counterpoints in this entire piece. So when we get to bar 5, the melody is and so this is why so many piano teachers sing really badly. This is where we're showing where our awareness is focused on. But instead of that, we can go which to me is a much more interesting tune, which is why in bar 5, the second quaver, I put that F sharp, the F sharp that's in the right hand, I actually play with my left hand, because this is what the left hand should be doing. That's the melody. So I don't know why the right hand plays that, then gives it over to the left hand. You might as well just leave it all in the left hand. And hopefully you've got your copy open in front of you so that you can follow what I'm doing. So one way of practicing that bar might be to play that opening note and then to play these counter melodies together. Because that's what you want to be listening to. And everything else is just filler. And you still want to be hearing all that other stuff. And then here, we have this very strong counter melody. So, as well as your melody at the top, of course. And, this in many ways is kind of a post-grade 7 thing. This is more like grade 8 and beyond, of being able to juggle our awareness and our attention. Well, grade 8, because grade 8 is where we do preludes and fugues. And fugues is all about this art of being able to follow multiple lines all at the same time. So in my opinion, the counterpoint in this piece is really more grade 8 level. It's not the notes, it's being able to follow the counter melodies and listen to them together. So again, bar 5, or And you hear them both. You can hear both as you play it. And then hear this beautiful line at the top. I overdid it there. Something I was just explaining in the previous video, maybe a controversial opinion, I don't know, but to me, most of the time, crescendo and decrescendo does not mean get louder and get quieter. I know that's what most people think, and that's what we're taught, but really, for me, what crescendo means is build tension. And when there is tension, and again, I'm going to release a video all about tension and release, because it's something that I need to talk about it pretty much in almost every single video. So keep your eye out for a video on harmonic tension and release, and tension and release in melody lines. Because what's going on, this crescendo in bar 5, it isn't just to get louder. Let me go from bar 4, and I will literally just get louder and quieter and show you that's not really what it is. So I'm going from bar 4. Now that was correct. Now I'm going to play it in terms of building tension. And it's just so obvious to me that that's what it is. It's an increase in tension, not just getting louder. Now, when there is an increase in tension, I'm going to try not to talk about it too much. Tension is louder, but also slower. So whenever there's tension, we can slow down a little bit. Like, I'm also going to play again from bar 4 into bar 5, but instead of getting louder, I'm going to increase the tension by slowing down and then speeding up again. So now I'd rather hear that than just the getting louder. That's not capturing it at all. So crescendo, decrescendo is about tension. Now, increase of tension and decrease of tension cannot just be getting louder and getting slower. It's a thing we feel in our chest. So, for example, if I read this, the stuff at the bottom of this page, Moszkowski was a German composer and pianist of Polish descent. He toured as a pianist and conductor. I can decide on one word to bring out. Let me bring out the word pianist in the second sentence. So I'll go from the first sentence. Moszkowski was a German composer and pianist of Polish descent. He toured as a pianist and conductor. So I emphasize the word pianist. How did I do that? So he toured as a pianist and conductor. And it's pretty obvious that's how we do it in English. How do I bring emphasis? How do I bring tension and emphasis onto that note? Or even, it can be like, some of the time tension is a sense of, what's the word I'm looking for? Suspense. So he toured as a pianist and conductor. How do we do that? We kind of get louder and we slow down and sometimes even pause. He toured as a pianist. That's how we do it. So in music, we do the same thing. So that's what a crescendo means. A crescendo means increase the tension. It doesn't just mean get louder. It would be like me going, he toured as a pianist and conductor. That's not how we'd say it. That's not how we intuitively use language to put emphasis onto something. Yes. Let me just jump to one of the counterpoints I really like at the end. And I like that the official ABRSM pianist brought out, to me this is like a bell, like an English bell. I know Moszkowski wasn't English, but it reminds me of like church bells. So I'm going to go from bar 22. And then here, to me the highlight of this bar is here. And it's up to you how much you bring out, whatever all that is. Now, if I basically chose between those two extremes of And this, it's so much more satisfying having that ringing church bell thing. You might want to experiment with exactly how much balance you have between those, but I like that really exaggerated. It's hard. For grade 7, that's seriously difficult. Do keep your eyes peeled for a tutorial on how to do that kind of thing with bringing out certain lines over others. And then for the next one, I make it quieter. I know it says, I don't think it says to do that, but then the second time, you never want to play anything that's repeated, you never want to play it exactly the same. So I bring the left hand out quite loud the first time, and then the second time, much more gentle. And then here, this is the line we bring out. So we've got dum, da, dum, dum, dum. So I'm going to go from bar 24. Dum, 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 dum. Which is why I bring my left hand over for that note at the top, so that I can, all my focus is going there, and then the left hand just is like an extra icing on the cake. And it looks good. It's a nice little flourishy thing to do. So if I do it without the singing, watch my performance of that, again, link below and above at the beginning and the end. So many counterpoints on this thing. Now something, I'm just looking at all the bars that might perplex some people and that might need looking at. Bar 17 sort of means emphasized and a little bit agitated. The slurs imply that you put a little bit of an accent on the first note of each slur. So we've got 1, so it's kind of syncopated. Can I play that and count the beats out loud? That's going to be really difficult here in this, but I'll try. 1, 2, oh my god, that's hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, okay, so 2, 3, 4, 1. So you're emphasizing all the offbeats. So I'm going to go from bar 15. Bar 15. In my opinion, this is a beautiful line to bring out. So from bar 15, where are we? And then we go. That line is so nice. And again, it's an increase in tension. And I can't remember if I've mentioned it. In this tutorial, hopefully I've already said this, tension is not just getting louder and slowing down, but feeling it in our chests, feeling it. So if I play... Hopefully you feel that here, because I feel it. If I don't feel it, I cannot just in a contrived way, I can't just go, must get louder and slow down. That doesn't work. I have to feel it. It's got to be something that I feel. And the feeling then informs what I do. It doesn't come from my head. It's not thought out and intellectual and analytic. I mean, afterwards I can look back on it and go, oh yeah, it was getting louder and it was getting slower, but really it comes from here. And anyway, so, with my very bad singing, again, increase the tension, feel the tension in the chest. Whoops. So basically just a little bit of a lean in to the first of each of those slurs. So hopefully you can see that there's a slur between those two, Now, hopefully your teacher has taught you that every single time you have just two notes joined by a slur, that means loud, soft, lean, relax, tension, release. That's what you think when you see two notes joined by a slur. Tension, release, tension, release, tension, release, tension, release, tension, release. Oh no, sorry, not there. And then calm. And we lose all the tension in that moment because that's what that decrescendo means. Now, something that you are going to have to discover for yourself. I think a lot of people are not going to pull this around a lot. And I think that if you listen to my performance, maybe I went a bit over the top. So some people are going to do this. Whatever the notes are. And I'm going to guess that's how most people are going to play it. Maybe I went a bit over the top in terms of really feeling these tension and releases and speeding up and slowing down. And it seems that every two bars, there is kind of like a, you know, we tense and then we release every kind of two bars. So it's like... Now, I'm really speeding up and slowing down a lot. It's not going to be everybody's taste. And some people might prefer to have a bit more of like a steady pulse through it all. But if you do push and pull it about, like let me do the bit where I really push and pull. Let's go from bar 6. It's really important that you do still know where the pulse is and you can count it. So if you are going to push and pull it around a lot, make sure you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So although I'm pulling and pushing it around, I absolutely know where that beat is. And I think it's something that most of my students are very weak on, that they wouldn't be able to just count the beats out loud of whatever they're playing. Now, I can do that because whatever I'm doing, I've internalized that somewhere in my mind, I am counting 1, 2, 3, 4, no matter what it is that I'm playing. I know where the beats are. Don't get too locked in though into like 2. That's too solid. That's too metronomic. Something you want to be aware of is this melody line. I love this melody line in this bottom line. Dum, 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 dum. I love these big leaps. Very hard to sing. Da, 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 da. So I think because it's hard to sing, it's going to be very easy to lose it when you get to bar 11, especially when it crosses the hands. So if I play it from bar 11, I'm going to go from here, and we go... let me go again. And hopefully that was quite clear what that melody was. Oh, I can't sing that high. Dum, 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 da. Because it would be really easy just to lose that melody line because it's crossing over with what the left hand is doing. And again, here, bar 12, left hand. Da, dum, 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 dum. Now, I think a lot of people might miss the fact that this melody line, bar 12, dum, 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 crosses into the right hand. Dum, dum. So, if I do just the skeleton, but there's so much going on there because then you've got another line in the left hand. There's so much counterpoint. It's almost like a kind of a 4-part Bach fugue. It's really advanced, this. So, you know, you really need to spend a lot of time pulling this apart. Like here, we can have this line. So in bar 12, we've got this line. We've got this line. And then we've got there's a lot going on there. There's you've got at least 3 different lines. That's a lot to follow. That's really a lot to follow. So you need to be able to sing all of them. And then again, we've got this left hand line. And you need to hear that weaving through the right hand. So I know it says piano, but don't be too piano. Don't be too soft with that left hand. You still need to hear it from bar 13. So hopefully you can hear that comes through really clearly. And one way of doing that is to make sure that the right hand is super, super quiet. What else is there to say? I think I've covered really most of the essential stuff. It's a very brave choice if you're doing that one. Although actually, in its own way, and I will be doing a tutorial on the previous piece at the evening window, in many ways that is just as challenging. That's a very, very tricky one. In some ways, actually, the Chopin might be the easiest one out of all of them, paradoxically, because usually Chopin's very, very difficult. And it's still a really difficult piece, this Chopin. It's difficult to play well, but it doesn't have anywhere near the same kind of challenges of counterpoint that B2 and B3 have. They are really, really difficult for grade 7 ABRSM this particular time round. Very challenging. Oh yes, and also the staccato at the beginning. It's staccato in the pedal. You know, don't worry about this. And I know that the pedal indication runs out by the end of beat 3. I don't think you want to hear this. So you can make a kind of staccato gesture with your hand, despite the fact that the pedal's there. And then I don't think we then suddenly do this. So it's not, I mean, clearly no. Just ignore that pedal marking. And for the most part, in music of this kind of style, the pedal markings are there as kind of a suggestion, and you then just do whatever feels right. Don't just go, that is the correct pedal marking. There's no such thing as the only correct pedal marking. You do whatever feels appropriate. So I changed the pedal for the 4th beat. Don't just have no pedal in the 4th beat, but really the staccato just means light. So not like heavy, 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 heavy. It's not like you're going through mud. It's light. So challenging. But anyway, so hope that's been useful and interesting for you. If you liked that, do show appreciation for the channel, all the usual blah blah YouTube stuff. Press subscribe, like the video, leave comments, all the stuff that will help us out. If you like my teaching style, I am available for online lessons on Zoom. I think Zoom lessons work very, very well. I do have space for more students. And having said all that, I will let you now go and do lots of practicing. So enjoy your practicing and see you for the next tutorial. Goodbye.